Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today we're going to be talking about the biggest secrets or the biggest way to improve your gameplay in heavy tanks in World of Tanks Blitz. Now, this is super simple advice, but I don't think any other YouTuber has talked about this in depth, and I don't think anyone has talked about this at all, pretty much, even apart from YouTubers. And you all know that I'm a heavy tank main. I pretty much only play heavy tanks, and I play quite well in heavy tanks. And as you can see, this is pretty much evident from my stat. You see most of my tanks or top damage tanks are heavies. As you can see, the Yo 60 TP 113, the 50B Super Conqueror, Kronvan, VK72, 260, Concept 1B, blah blah blah, etc. So as you can see, pretty much all of my top tier tanks and top damage tanks are heavies. And this is because heavies in general are the main class, and they're going to be the most decisive class in game. So basically, I divide heavies into three categories. They're going to be the drum tanks, so that is the 50B, the T57, and the M6 Yo. These three tanks are the drum category, and all three categories, which I'm going to be splitting tanks into, are going to have completely different play styles, and therefore heavy tanks are not played the same. You have to play heavy tanks depending on their style. So today I'm going to be showing you guys the three types of heavy tanks that exist, and the first type is going to be the drum type. So I'm going to be jumping into a live game from each category tank, and you'll find out the other two categories as we progress this video. But drum tanks are the first category, and these are probably the hardest tanks to play for newer players, and I would tend to avoid these tanks as a newer player because they are very hard. Why? Because the T57 nor the 50B have amazing armor, but instead they have a very good gun, and you need to be able to use this gun to your advantage. Now, what the hell? I don't know if you guys saw, but I was turning my tank and it didn't turn. Wargaming, please fix your garbage game. I'm so tired of this. I was literally turning and it didn't turn. But as I was saying, this tank and this category of tanks, again, doesn't have amazing armor, and therefore you're going to be punished for every single mistake you make. And the 50B, the Yo, and the T57 are all completely different in regards to playstyle. The only similarity is the fact that they have a drum. Therefore, this is going to be your highest damage tank in general. All of my highest damage tanks are drum tanks, and there is a reason for that. That's because for every shot you take, you can give out 3. Simple as that. These are the best tanks for experienced players because of the fact that you need to be able to use your drum, and you need to be able to use your gun and the statistics of the gun in general, because you don't have armor. And newer players should completely avoid this, as I said, and you shouldn't be pushing in this tank. These tanks are completely support based. They are meant to support. And you go behind your main heavies or really chunky heavies and let them absorb the damage. Even if it's a medium, let the medium take the shot, and then you're gonna come out, give 3 shots, and go back in. In the case of the Yo, I recommend using the 2-shot gun, and therefore you give out 2 shots in 1.5 seconds and you come back in. Simple as that. Now this game, it wasn't too great. We were just running around, and I'm lucky I was in the 50B because I managed to slip away there, but I did go into the corner simply because I was in the 50B. But yeah, we did around 3,500 damage. That's okay. That's not too great, it's an okay statistic. We could have done much better, but the game kind of screwed us up at the start because I wanted to turn, obviously, to go up the hill and get a better position for myself, but it didn't allow me. So Wargaming, please fix your game. But yeah, that's the first category. And again, I'm going to summarize the category. Just be a support vehicle. Use your drum and be a support vehicle. Now the next category is going to be the haul down tanks. Haul down tanks are the Chieftain and the Kronvan, and they're second in the category in regards to playstyle. So the hardest tanks are going to be the drum tanks, and then you have the haul down tanks. And I would also add the Super Conqueror into this list, or something like the E5 to this list. And apart from that, as you can see, we have the Kron, the Chieftain, the Concept 1B. You guys get what I'm talking about. All of these tanks have mediocre mobility, or more or less decent mobility, have a really strong turret, good gun depression, but a very weak hull. Like the Chieftain, the Concept, and the Kron all have a very weak hull, and they're meant to be played as obviously hull down, as the name suggests it. Again, this is not a pushing tank. You're always meant to be looking for a hull down situation. On every single map, there is a hull down area or a part of the map where you can go hull down, and therefore you have to use them. If you're in a Chieftain, don't be going to the city with the other heavies and thinking, oh, I'm a heavy, I'm meant to absorb damage. No, you're not. Sit down, go hull down, just sit there and use your hull and use your turret and your gun depression to your advantage. Do not go to the city and thinking, I'm a heavy, I'm meant to push, I'm meant to absorb damage. No, you're not. The third category, which I'm going to be talking about, is for that. You are meant to play hull down. You're not a drum, and therefore you're not meant to be sitting there, you know, like peekabooing all the time. You sit hull down, you use your turret armor to your advantage, you clap some cheeks, hull down. Simple as that. For example, here I'm in a Kron, and I took a hull down situation or a hull down position, and I'm going to be using it to my advantage. Of course, here most of the enemies are on the other side, so I'm going to be moving towards there. Of course, it depends on the situation. Sometimes you can't go hull down, but most of the time you really want to be using your advantages, because I see a lot of players, you know, running about and saying, you know, this YouTuber told me this YouTuber told me that, I'm a heavy, I'm meant to absorb the enemy shots. No, you're not. As a drum tank and a hull down tank, you are not. Of course, in certain situations, if you're left in a 2v1 situation and you need to take a shot for your teammate, of course, even as a medium, I would do that. Oh my god, the 60 TP, I really didn't see him there. But even as a medium, sometimes you can take shots for your team, even as a light tank or a TD. But this tank is not meant to absorb shots like a mouse. You know what I mean? This tank is not meant for that. Again, try and find the best area or the best position on the map and use it to your advantage. Again, this is somewhat between a support tank and a pushing tank because you're quite versatile. You can do both. You can hold certain lines. Even one tank can hold, like, you know, 2 or 3 tanks. If you get a good enough position and the enemies are quite stupid, you'll be able to do that. And it's very, very simple, guys. Just try and get the best situation or the best position for yourself. Simple as that. Here, again, I'm pushing this 60 TP because I need to. Simple as that. You can't just sit there all the time. I'm not saying choose a position and sit there. Of course, you sit there for the first few minutes. It really depends on your situation. But always try and get a hold down, like a position for yourself. Again, why am I not going down the slope? Because it's going to expose my hull. Here I'm going to be climbing this ridge or the mountain because I can peekaboo with my turret. I see all the enemies are there, and therefore as a Kron, even if I was a Chieftain or a Concept 1B, here I would be able to, you know, sit and play off of my gun depression and turret. Simple as that. So we're going to be, well, this game looks like we kind of lost already. It's a 2 versus 3, and I think our teammate here on the object 268 is going to die, and it's going to be a 1 versus 3 situation. But again, I'm in a great spot because I'm simply going to be playing hull down, and I think this Chieftain is going to die. So yeah, I think I pretty much summarized this whole category. You play the same way in a Super Conqueror, in an E5, blah blah blah, because they are all similar in regards to playstyle. There are 3 categories of heavies, and all of them have different playstyles. You're not just a solid block of heavies. You know, not all heavies are the same. They have different roles, so don't think all heavies are exactly the same. So here, I'm in a 1 versus 2 situation. I pretty much killed the Chieftain, so now I'm going to be trying and getting the IS-4 and the E100. I really don't remember how much HP the E100 has. I believe he's a one-shot, so here they're both a one-shots for me. So the IS-4 is a one-shot and the E100 is a one-shot, while I'm a 2-shot for both of them. So therefore, I'm going to be loading my whole clip, and now I'm going to push because obviously the base is being captured. Again, you know, I don't have time, or I don't have a hold down situation or a position here because of the situation I'm in. But as you can see, I tried to get that hold down spot there. So here I'm going to try and get the E100. I don't know how my first shot missed. My second shot missed too. What? Okay, at least the IS... Yes, amazing. I just screwed up all 3 shots. I love myself, and I'm garbage at this game. I'm definitely going to be checking the... yeah, thank you. My teammates are calling me trash as well. I really think that was RNG. My first shot was garbage, but the second 2 must have connected. They should have. I did 5,200 damage, which is okay, but I'm going to be checking the replay because this is an abomination. Literally, I did the most damage in the team. My teammates can cry, I don't care, but I'm going to be checking what the hell happened over there. So again, I whiffed all 3 shots. That's amazing. So in the first game, my AMX 50B drives by itself, and here the shots just go I don't know where. So here, let's see. Okay, the first shot, as I said, was garbage, but the second shot really should have connected. Look at this shot. It should have connected. It flew somewhere over the barn for some goddamn reason, and the shot with the IS-4 should have connected as well. Look at how I aim. Come on. Wargaming, please fix your game. The first game was garbage, and the second game is also, like, not rigged, obviously. I just want to check again. I'm so sorry, but I really need to check. Again, the first shot, okay. That's okay by me. You know, the first shot, that's fine. But the other 2, look at that. Look at that. Where did that shot go? That's okay. I did 5,000. I don't care. I did a 5K. You know, I'm willing to take it. Look at that last shot. Look at that last shot. Pah! It went into I don't know where. This game doesn't stop to surprise me. You know, that should have been a clean game. I should have killed both tanks. But, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, that was the second category, guys. And the third category, as you all know it, are these standard heavy tanks. These are tanks like the VK90 with a lot of armor, the Mouse, the E100, the IS-7. They vary in mobility. The gun is more or less mediocre on these tanks, but they carry the game by their armor. Like the 60 TP is like a solid example. Same with the IS-7. They're meant to push. They're meant to like break flanks. They're meant to like swarm the enemy. And these are the most important tanks in game because they're not... The other tanks were more or less support tanks, but these tanks like the E100, the IS-7, the 60 TP, the Mouse are just meant to push the enemy. You know what I mean? They're meant to push flanks. These are the tanks that are meant to absorb shots, not a 50B. A 50B, a Chieftain, a WZ-113 isn't meant to stand there and absorb shots. I really don't know where I would class the 113. I'd probably put it into this category as well, but still... Like something like a Chieftain or the Concept 1B shouldn't be out there trying to, you know, like take shots from the enemy, you know, oh, let me save my mediums. No, these tanks are like support tanks. Well, the third category, the main heavies, like the strong heavies, like the E100, these are the tanks that are meant to absorb heavies. These are what I would call true heavies. And Wargaming, please bugger off. 3 games in a row, I'm just being like spat in the face because none of my shots connect or like my tank drives by itself. So again here, thank you, at least a shot went through. And the enemy 60 TB here is like really cocky, so I think I'm going to have to punish him for that one. But you see what he's doing. He doesn't really pay attention to me, so I'm gonna have to punish him. But here in these tanks you can play more or less aggressive. That's a very nice burn for him. 1,000 HP gone. But that's why these tanks have a lot of HP. You know, the Mouse has 3k. The IS-4 would also be a tank in this category. How could I forget about the IS-4, the IS-7, the 60 TP? All of those tanks would be part of the third category. And these are, like, as I said, true heavies. And as you can see here, a prime example, I'm in the 100 and I'm pushing out. Of course, I'm trying to be the first to push and lead the attack against the TDs here. So let's put a nice shot into the E4. Twice I shoot down his track and the shot doesn't go through, which usually should be, you know, a penetration and it should give him HP. but it doesn't, because Wargaming loves me so much. Now, both of these tanks are a one-shot for me. There's a T-57. We already lost a few tanks, but you already guys get the gist of things. Simply play your heavy and split them into categories and play them as a support or a main tank. Because not all heavies are the same and they're not played the same, and that's the biggest mistake people make. They think heavies are all the same and they're played the same way. No, they are not. Do not push. You're meant to push in certain heavies, and in certain heavies you're meant to, you know, be a support tank and know your place in the game. So my last shot is on the grill. Thank God we can burn him, and with that I'm pretty much going to die. So yeah, and that's all I wanted to talk about today. It's the 3 categories and how they're all different and how they all have a different play style to each other, and therefore you're not meant to play all heavies the same way. So yeah, we did a 4K. I'm okay with that. All of our results in terms of damage were okay today. On average for 3 games, we did 4K. First game was 3K, second game 5K, third game 4K. So yeah, with that, Happy is out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.